I don't think we realize what the Kansas City Chiefs just did. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Kansas City Chiefs news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is Kansas City Chiefs are terrifying the league to see Chiefs get better in 2024. The Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl last season with what some called Patrick Mahomes' worst supporting cast since he became a full-time starter in the league. In a year that the Chiefs weren't at their best, it was looked upon as the chance to finally dethrone Mahomes, yet no one managed to do it. Now, after signing Marquise Brown and drafting Xavier Worthy, the Chiefs have bolstered Mahomes' weapons, which former NFL David Carr says will be terrifying for the rest of the league in 2024 because of what it means for Travis Kelce. It's gotta be terrifying for the rest of the league to see the Super Bowl champions get better, Carr said on NFL Total Access. Everyone's trying to catch them. All they do is create more space for their tight end, and that's what this is about. Creating space, obviously, for the run game, those speed guys. They don't have to be completions. It's just the fact that they're down there. It creates so much room in between the numbers where Patrick loves to work with Travis. This just opens everything up. With the Chiefs' offense being middle of the pack last season regarding scoring, and Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice being the dominant forces, Kansas City needed more of a spread of contributors despite winning the Super Bowl. Now, with the additions of Brown and Worthy, the Chiefs have 2 speed burners who not only stretch the field, but will also open up space for Kelce to do his work. Pick your poison. The future Hall of Famer had a down year in 2023, but with the shiny new additions, perhaps things will open up in the middle of the field. And as Carr states, that is a terrifying thought for Kansas City's opponents in 2024. Monday marked the opening of the Kansas City Chiefs' eligibility window to begin their first OTA session of the 2024 offseason. Additionally, it also revealed a reunion with a familiar face the club parted ways with not too long ago. Per the NFL's daily transaction wire and personnel notice, defensive tackle Matt Dickerson has been re-signed. This comes just a week after news broke that Dickerson was released in order to make room for the re-signing of linebacker Cole Christensen. Dickerson, 28, is an undrafted free agent who started his career with the Tennessee Titans. After multiple seasons there, he spent the 2022 campaign with the Atlanta Falcons and then joined Kansas City thereafter. The UCLA product appeared in 12 games this past year, recording 15 tackles and playing 197 combined snaps between defense and special teams. This is far from an earth-shattering move by Kansas City, to be honest. With that said, Dickerson did have a very clear role on last year's defensive line for defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo and D-line coach Joe Cullen. He's an experienced veteran the coaching staff trusts, which is valuable to the organization. The hierarchy of the Chiefs' defensive tackle picture is now even more interesting. As things currently stand, All-Pro Chris Jones and longtime member of the team Derek Nottie are expected to start at 3-tech and nose tackle, respectively. Behind them, it could be a free-for-all of sorts with Dickerson competing with players like Tershawn Wharton and Neil Farrell Jr. for reps. Mike Pennell and Isaiah Buggs, both returning for 2024, should also be taken into account. At or near the bottom of the depth chart, this could mean something for undrafted free agent Fabien Lovett. Senior General Manager Brett Veach is clearly fond of him. As he recently said, the former Florida State man could compete for a roster spot later this year. Bringing Dickerson back makes for another body to fight with, which should bring out the best of the rookie, but also serve as a serious challenge. Dickerson won't move the needle in a major way, but his re-signing could have a ripple effect on how things shake out along the interior of the defensive line this summer. The second story is Chiefs re-sign recent cast-off amid Phase 3 of OTAs. The Kansas City Chiefs completed a bit of roster gymnastics on May 20th, re-signing veteran defensive tackle Matt Dickerson. A2Z Sports Kansas City reporter Charles Goldman first reported the news. But It was later confirmed by Chiefs Digest media member Matt Derrick, among others. The staff favorite was released from the 90-man roster on May 13th in order to make room for linebacker special teamer Cole Christensen, another returnee. The Chiefs then cut running back Lamical Perine on May 17th, opening the door for Dickerson to rejoin the organization. Dickerson has bounced around the NFL for 6 seasons, entering the league in 2018. He weighs in at 6'5", 292 pounds, and has registered 42 total tackles, 3 career tackles for a loss, and 3 QB hits. Dickerson is still searching for his first NFL sack, however. After a couple of looks with KC, the journeyman finally carved out a role inside Steve Spagnuolo's rotation last year. Pro Football Focus recorded 190 defensive snaps for Dickerson in 2023, with the majority of them coming Week 1 against the Detroit Lions. The versatile defensive lineman earned a solid tackling grade of 74.1, with 0 missed tackles and 6 key defensive stops. His run defense grade and pass rushing marks were much lower at 45.5 and 53.9, respectively. Chiefs are running it back on the defensive front. The Dickerson reunion completes a clear offseason game plan from the Chiefs' front office. Re-sign last year's defensive linemen. Kansas City has already reunited with veterans Chris Jones, Derek Nottie, Mike Pennell, and Tershawn Wharton, alongside Dickerson on the interior. Not to mention Mike Dana and Malik Herring at defensive end. When you factor in those that are still under contract, George Karlaftis, Felix Anudike-Uzomah, Charles Omenihu, B.J. Thompson, Neil Farrell, Truman Jones, and Isaiah Buggs, the Chiefs are very clearly electing to run it back on the defensive front. In fact, the only newcomer on the entire defensive line is priority UDFA Fabien Lovett, Sr., Phase 3 of Chiefs OTAs. Begins on May 20th, with W.R. Rashee Rice in attendance. The Chiefs began Phase 3 of organized team activities on Monday, May 20th. According to Arrowhead Pride reporter Pete Sweeney, credentialed media will be permitted to attend practice and interview coaches and players on Wednesday, May 22nd, and then again on Thursday, May 30th, and Thursday, June 6th. The big news from day one was that wide receiver Rashee Rice was in attendance, as reported by ESPN's Adam Schefter. The NFL insider also noted that Rice will be participating in all activities, per source. The third story is the Chiefs' unprecedented three-peat attempt includes being first team to play on 6 days of week since 1927. They are the trophy winners and history makers of this era's NFL. The Kansas City Chiefs have become a dynasty and done so no matter where the schedule has taken them. In 2024, the Chiefs will look to write another chapter in NFL lore as they endeavor to become the first team to three-peat as Super Bowl champions. Making that history all the more arduous to achieve will be a scheduling caveat in which Kansas City will play on 6 separate days of the week during the regular season, becoming the first NFL team to do so since the 1927 New York Yankees, according to NFL research. The Chiefs will play games on Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, a docket unprecedented in the Super Bowl era and last matched by the aforementioned 27 Yankees. With their Super Bowl victory over the San Francisco 49ers last season, Kansas City ended the NFL's longest drought between repeat champions, as the Pats accomplished the feat in 2003 to 2004. Not only has no NFL team ever won 3 straight Super Bowls, but none of the 8 teams that have won back-to-back Lombardis ever returned to the big game the following year. 3 of those squads lost in the ensuing conference title game, 2 lost in the divisional round, and 3 missed the postseason altogether. Of course, the NFL didn't start in the Super Bowl era, so the Chiefs might be looking to set Super Bowl history, but they're likewise chasing the man whose name adorns the Super Bowl trophy. Vince Lombardi's Packers of 1965-67 were the last league team to win 3 NFL titles in a row. claiming an NFL championship in '65, ahead of winning the first two Super Bowls, including Super Bowl I against the Chiefs. The Chiefs' bid for history will, of course, be televised and streamed and in the spotlight on a near-weekly basis. Kansas City's three-peat window will play out with 8 exclusive window games, the NFL kickoff game, 2 Sunday Night Football tilts, 2 Monday Night Football contests, the Black Friday game, a Week 16 Saturday showdown, and a Christmas game on the following Wednesday. Amid this roller coaster ride, the Chiefs can become the first team in league lore to win a game on 5 different days of the week during a single season, per NFL research. One thing the Chiefs won't do is travel for an international contest. However, their previous overseas journeys offer more evidence of the club's historical endeavors.